Good morning, television family. Back at it Friday. We've made it to the, well, we're not at the weekend yet. We still got one more day to get into the books. It is the 18th day of July 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. Happy Friday. If you're unfamiliar with the show, quick little recap of how our week normally goes. We're here Monday. We work. We don't work real hard. Tuesdays are like Monday. We just kind of phone it in. Wednesday, though, we start leaning forward a little bit. We can try a little harder, try and put together a decent show for you. Thursday, we got all the momentum that leads up to Friday, which is a guaranteed 5-star show, or double your television viewing pleasure. It is 72 degrees. We're off to a very mild start. It's going to be quite toasty again today. Not quite as warm as yesterday. We hit 93 yesterday. We'll be about 90 today. It's all relative. Big story, cold front is knocking on our door, and by the end of the day today, it will be here. A lot of wind. A lot of wind. We'll see some cloud cover. In fact, by the end of the day today, it'll be cloudy. By sunset tonight, a lot of wind. Red flag warning. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So things are going to be considerably cooler this weekend, and they've changed the forecast up a little bit. It's going to be quite windy again, we're told. On Saturday, this cold front that's coming in has slowed down, which means we're going to have some windy conditions on Saturday as well. That red flag warning may be extended, although it's going to be a lot cooler on Saturday. Maybe a little slit or go. Red flag warning is from 2 o'clock this afternoon until 10 o'clock tonight. Those details are coming up, but get ready for some significant change from Mother Nature's perspective. We'll have some news. Sports, we finally get to start talking about baseball again. Of course, there wasn't really a lot going on this week, scrambling to get sports together, but the Mariners go back to work tonight. Houston's in town for a 3-game set. Apple Sox go back to work tonight. They just got 18 games left in their season, and they got to make a playoff push because right now they're not in. And speaking of sports, in the back half of the program, our sports director, Eric Granstrom, sat down with the returning athletic and activities director for the Wenatchee School District, B.J. Kuntz. Full disclosure, she is, in fact, one of my siblings. I have a lot. I've lost track of them. We'll have that for you in the back half of the program. Lots to get to today. Busy Friday. Let's go. It's tour time around the area. Not a lot of clouds out there. Just a few high ones floating way up there in the atmosphere as we take a look at the Wenatchee Valley. Sunrise this morning was at 5:23. Sunset tonight, 8:51. 15 hours, 28 minutes of daylight. That is almost exactly 2 minutes less than yesterday, and tomorrow will be 2 minutes less of sunlight than today. It's that time of the year. Beautiful view from the Wenatchee Valley. It's just gorgeous. And it doesn't look like a bad weekend to go out and do stuff, although it's going to be windy this afternoon and pretty much all day Saturday as well. We just can't seem to get rid of the wind. The camera number 2. Ooh, that's purty. Josiah's going to make me work on this one here a little bit. Okay, orchards. Moving around. Oh, I want to say maybe that's the monitor camera from a slightly different angle, Josiah. That's Stein, of course. That's Stein, you goofball. Stein Hill, high above Cashmere, but we're not looking at Cashmere. We're looking at, I don't know what we're looking at, but that's definitely Stein Hill. I think Cashmere would probably be to the left of what we're looking at. I think we're looking at some of the orchards along the foothills of Cashmere. You remember the Mountain View Drive-In? We used to go there all the time when we were kids. The Mountain View Drive-In in Cashmere. Now we don't have any drive-ins. Camera number 3. Ooh, that one's got to be Hose Landing. Again, a guess. Am I correct? That's Stamen Flats. Okay, I'm 0 for 3. Gosh darn it. Hello, Stamen Flats. I don't know why I said Hose Landing. It kind of looks similar to that, although they're really not that far away from each other. That's the Columbia River. It just looks like a lake. That's probably why it fooled me. That's from Stamen Flats on the way up to Lake Chelan. And camera number 4. Ah, there we go. I know Slide Ridge because we've been using that one a lot lately, and that's just a stunning, incredible view. I wonder how those technicians get up to that area in the dead of winter. It's probably not easy getting up to that site in the middle of summer, for that matter. Good morning to Manson. Good morning to Wapato Point. There's the state park on the far right-hand side of your screen. Chelan way off into the distance. Chelan Butte up there, Bear Mountain as well. Great view from Slide Ridge, and there's a reason they call it Slide Ridge. It has a tendency to slide into Lake Chelan. Red flag warning from 2 until 10 today. Here we go again. Critical fire weather conditions for everybody who lives in the pink area, which is pretty much everybody. If there's any good news in all of this stuff, is the relative humidity, at least in the Wenatchee Valley, isn't going to be that bad. Relative humidity for a great deal of what you see on your screen is going to be in the teens, but the relative humidity at the driest part of the day, which is usually about 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, here in the valley will be more like 30%. But everybody's going to be dealing with a lot of wind, very good wind, sustained winds, a good solid 20 miles an hour this afternoon, and in the Wenatchee Valley we can see gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Waterville, always susceptible to wind. They'll see winds at 40 miles an hour, gusts at 40 miles an hour anyway, but it's still going to be quite warm. So yet another day where we have to keep our fingers crossed and hope no fire breaks out, and those fires that are out there, and there's really not that many, don't get going or take off at all. From the National Weather Service, lots of sunshine this morning. Clouds will begin to creep in mid-morning. By mid-afternoon, it'll be about 70% cloud cover. By sunset, it's going to be cloudy and a lot of wind. We'll top off to about 93 degrees. Not a lot of wind this morning. As the day progresses and the cold front begins to encroach into our area, winds will be picking up in intensity, and winds will be gusting pretty good by the end of the day today. Strongest winds today between about 4 o'clock this afternoon till about 1 o'clock in the morning. That's a long period of quite a bit of wind cover. Lots of clouds in the early evening hours tonight, but when you get up on Saturday, it'll be sunny. But it's going to be windy pretty much all night long. Overnight low of about 64. Because it is a cool front, we're going to be way down there. Our normal high this time of the year is 89. We'll be more like 86 on Saturday, and windy again, especially Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. We'll dip down to 62. Yeah, more wind. Sunshine, no wind at all. Just Sunday, no wind at all. Lots of sunshine. Beautiful day on Sunday to close out the weekend. And look at that. I'm surprised we could even find the rain graphic. There is a slight chance of some light rain on Monday afternoon and then again on Tuesday afternoon. Not much. It's only about at 30%, but we'll take what we can get. We need the rain. We'll see. And then it's going to be kind of quiet, and then we go right back to hot weather on Wednesday and Thursday. All right. At your forecast, you know what Mother Nature has in store. Next up, the news on this Friday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. TourMosesLake.com and start your adventure today.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
It's pretty mild for this time of the morning, 73 degrees. We'll top off about 20 degrees warmer, but the big story today, the cold front will be encroaching into our area throughout the course of the day today. It will be here by the end of the day. A lot of winds, a lot of clouds by the end of the day, and quite a bit of wind on Saturday and Saturday night as well. We have a red flag warning that begins at 2 o'clock this afternoon. 10 minutes after the hour, police have released more details surrounding that recent 5-car collision that injured Pioneer Middle School PE teacher Brian Vickery. Wenatchee Police Corporal Albert Gonzalez says the collision occurred at the intersection of South Miller and Millardale Avenue, right between Wenatchee High School and Pioneer Middle School. It happened on July 3rd when a 65-year-old driver lost power to his RV and ran the red light. 4 of the 5 vehicles involved were totaled. Vickery and 7 other individuals were injured, transported to Confluence Health Hospital's Central Campus. Vickery was airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. He is still there. He is still recovering from multiple skull fractures and brain swelling. The RV driver cited for failing to obey a traffic control device and for operating a vehicle without a valid license. Fire crews have now dumped about 1.6 million gallons of water on the Pumice fire. It's been burning for a little over a month in the Glacier Peak Wilderness just west of Aniat. That lightning-caused fire is burning in the footprint of previous fires, like the 2015 Wolverine fire. It's now at about 3,500 acres. On Thursday morning, managers reported that most of the new fire spread has been to the west, which means it's away from Lucerne and Holden Village. That historic retreat community above Lake Chelan remains under a level 1 fire advisory. Hotshot crews in the area have spent the last week clearing overgrowth and flammable debris to protect the village perimeter. Pumice fire activity has also forced the closure of the Y Connector Road. That's near the airstrip at Lake Wenatchee, so the incident command team can place equipment in that area. That cutoff road is closed and will remain closed until they get the fire out or they don't need the equipment there anymore. Chelan County's Natural Resources Department is sharing in a $33 million round of drought-related funding from the federal government. The agency has received about $263,000 from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation to build its Icicle Creek Decision Support Tool. That's a methodology that would guide water managers when they decide whether or not to release water from the high alpine lake reservoirs. Water from those sources is used for farm irrigation as well as endangered fish populations. The tool's been in development since 2020, and it would incorporate weather modeling, hydrology, and interagency coordination. The County Natural Resources Agency is the only recipient in the state of Washington for this round of reclamation grants. Voters in the Manson area, you have a chance to bump up the number of commissioners who oversee their fire district. Chelan County Fire District number 5 wants to expand its Board of Commissioners from 3 members to 5 members. The district placed that question on the county ballot. That's been out ahead of the August 5th election deadline. The agency employs 2 full-time employees, 1 part-time employee, and about 39 volunteer firefighters. Supporters say the growing district puts a heavy administrative load on the 3 serving commissioners. If they move to a 5-commissioner system, well, the voters have to approve it. That's why it's on the ballot. The board says there will be no added cost to the taxpayers associated with adding 2 more commissioners. And the Chelan Assisted Living Community Heritage Heights is hosting a grand reopening ceremony next week to celebrate the completion of the renovations of the facility and some added care services. The multi-million-dollar project included renovating the kitchen and the dining areas as well as resident rooms and common areas. The project was supported by about $2.5 million in state and federal grant money to add services for end-of-life and memory care residents. The reopening ceremony takes place at Heritage Heights next Tuesday from 3 to 5. Refreshments will be provided and you can take a tour of the newly renovated campus. And that's the news at 14 minutes after the hour. We have one more newscast to put together and send your way before our weekend begins at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. That's the air times on television for the NCWLIFE Evening News, 5, 6, and 10. If you are unplugged from the world of traditional television and you consume everything via the World Wide Web, we got you covered. Our news will be on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock. It'll be on our homepage always, NCWLIFE.com, again right around 5 o'clock, and we put links to both of those on our Facebook page too. So we try to make it as accessible as possible. And if you're out and about or not out and about, either way, and you think something might be newsworthy, you send us an email, please. Love to hear from you. News at NCWLIFE.com. It's back to baseball. It's about time, at least games that count. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, two 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Sports at 17 minutes after the hour. Back to work. Mariners begin the second half of the season at home tonight with the first place Houston Astros in town for a 3-game series. They announced after that was made that you see on the screen that Luis Castillo will start for the Mariners. He'll go against Brandon Walter. Seattle is 25-21 in home games. They are 51-45 overall. Mariners have the 9th-ranked team ERA. In Major League Baseball, their team ERA is 3.93. Houston is 56-40 overall. They are 23-21 in road games. The teams play tonight for the 8th time this season. The Astros are up 4-3 in the season series, and we don't see the Astros again until September. In the meantime, here's a recap of the first 96 games so far.
Welcome back to Seattle for 2025.
Randy Arozarena has tied it up. Jorge Polanco, have yourself an opening day. Grand slam, Arozarena. He has tied this game. Mariners walk it off.
Number 96, most home runs by a catcher in Mariners history.
Back-to-back jacks. How in the world?
What a start for this rookie.
Polanco cannot be stopped, and he wins it tonight.
There he goes again.
22nd this year.
Second consecutive walk-off win for the Mariners.
His 14th strikeout.
George Kirby has been fantastic.
More home runs than any catcher in the history of baseball before the All-Star break. That's the Pony.
He's a walking, talking history book.
Epic first half for Ken Raleigh.
All right, back to work. I love it. By the way, after Houston plays tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday afternoon, it will be the Brewers coming to T-Mobile Park on Monday. Closer to home, the Wenatchee Apple Sox return to action tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The Nanaimo Night Owls are in town. 6:35 first pitch. If you don't want to sit in the wind, you can watch it on TV. Eric Grandstrom and Brandon Schmidt will have the call. Live coverage at 6:30 again. First pitch at 6:35. Where are we in the standings, by the way? It's been a while since we checked in. Wenatchee has 18 games left on the season to try to make up some ground in the standings as play resumes tonight. The Apple Sox trail Victoria by 5.5 games in the WCL North's second half standings. If the season were to end today, and I hope it doesn't because that would be really weird, but if the season were to end today, Wenatchee would find itself on the outside looking in at the playoffs. Bellingham has earned the #1 seed with his first half title. They're already in the playoffs. Right now, Victoria is in position to win the second half title. That would make them the #2 seed. And if the season ended today, and it doesn't, Edmonton would be the #3 seed based on its third best overall record. And Kamloops and Wenatchee are tied with overall records of 19-17. But Kamloops has the head-to-head tiebreaker. They defeated the Apple Sox in their 5 of 9 meetings this summer. Those two teams don't play again. So if the season ended today, it would be Bellingham and Kamloops in the opening rounds, and Victoria would take on Edmonton. So Wenatchee still has a chance, but they got to start winning some baseball games. Hopefully they'll start doing that tonight. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 20 minutes after the hour. For all of you people down in Uruguay, I want to wish you all a happy Constitution Day. I know a lot of people watch the show online down in Uruguay, so I'm told. National Sour Candy Day, Insurance Nerd Day. Zane Bach, I'm looking at you. Bo, today is National Caviar Day. If you're a fan of eating fish eggs, today is your day. I've had caviar twice. It is pretty good. It is pretty good if you can get past what it looks like. In this country, caviar as a business began during the second half of the 19th century. 1873, a German immigrant named Henry Schlatt started his own caviar business in Penns Grove, New Jersey. And once that took hold and got going, he began to export caviar all over the world. And it was $1 a pound. That's a heck of a deal. In fact, even if you adjust it for inflation, that would be about 30 bucks a pound. In today's money, it ain't 30 bucks a pound. Trust me, it is pricey. Different caviar varieties have different colors. Of course, the colors can range from what you see on the screen. They can be anywhere from orange to black and everything in between. Depends on the fish, really. Of course, as we all know by now, if you don't know, here you go. Silver should never be used to serve or eat caviar because silver degrades the taste of caviar. The best way to consume caviar is on spoons made out of mother of pearl, which is why I always keep 4 or 5 mother of pearl spoons in my spoon drawer at home. The best caviar in the world, the most expensive, is Russian caviar, Russian sturgeon, beluga sturgeon, or a stellate sturgeon. Either way, it's expensive, but it is good. Happy National Caviar Day. Enjoy some. For me, I can't afford it right now. 22 minutes after the hour, we take secret ballots in our governmental elections for granted here in this country, but it wasn't until on this date in 1872 that they made it the requirement of a secret ballot in Great Britain. Before this date in 1872, in the Ballot Act, your voting wasn't private. Employers and landowners would just hang around in the voting precincts and wherever the votes were being held, and they would just stand there and make sure that the landowners and the employers would make sure that their employees and their tenants voted the way they wanted them to vote. And if they didn't vote the way they wanted them to vote, they would be fired or thrown out of their house. And if they couldn't, they can't be everywhere at once, they would send representatives of their businesses and their properties to the other voting precincts to make sure everybody voted the way they were supposed to. They said, now that's not really the way you should do that. So for you folks in Great Britain, congratulations. Starting on this date in 1872, your vote is your vote, and you don't have to tell anybody. 72 years ago today, 18-year-old truck driver Elvis Aaron Presley drops into the Memphis recording service at the Sun Records Company, forked over $4, steps into the booth and records 2 double-sided demo acetates. My Happiness on one side, and That's When Your Heartaches Begin on the other side. The story has always been that Elvis did it to give his mother Gladys a birthday present. I don't think it's true, for a couple of reasons. Number one, Gladys Presley's birthday was in April, not in July. And number two, the Presleys didn't have a record player, so why record an acetate to play at home when you don't have anything to play it at home for? I've always thought that he wanted to get noticed. He wanted Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records, to notice him. It worked, whatever the case may be. By the way, that record that you see on the screen, it's the only one that exists. It's an acetate. You record it on tape, they cut it onto disc, and then they erase the tape to use it again. Who knows what that record's worth? But just like caviar, I can't afford it. That was 72 years ago today. Yogi Berra quit going to Yankee Stadium after he was fired in 1985. He and George Steinbrenner eventually made up. And on July 18th, this date, 26 years ago, July 18th, 1999, Yogi Berra Day was held at Yankee Stadium. Yogi returned for the first time in 14 years. Before the game began, in pregame ceremonies, Don Larson threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Yogi Berra caught it. David Cone took the mound. The Yankees took on the Expos. And on Yogi Berra Day, David Cone did this.
Popped up and playable. Roches. A perfect save by David Cone.
Whether you love the Yankees like I do or hate them like almost everybody else I know, you gotta admit that is still pretty cool. And this is just plain bizarre. A very strange play takes place in the first inning of the game on this date between the Mets and the Pirates. This was 4 years ago in Pittsburgh. The best way to describe what happens is to simply show it to you.
Loaded for Newman. They said to go, go, go. It's a fair ball! It's a fair ball! Oh my goodness! It's a fair ball! Do you believe this? It's still in play! Pirates score 3! Oh my gosh! We've seen it all now! We've seen it all! There goes Rojas. He might not be the first. He just bumped the home plate umpire.
Let's see. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. Touching the chalk, touching the...
Oh, he made the right call.
He made the right call. That ball was on the chalk.
One of the most bizarre plays you'll ever see in your entire life.
Yeah. Of course, the catcher and the pitcher and the third baseman, they're just standing around yelling and arguing. In the meantime, the Pirates are just circling the bases. Somebody go pick up the baseball. It's a fair ball. He's not going to change his mind. Baseball is a funny game. Let's do some birthdays. 2 heavenly birthdays. Nelson Mandela. Today is Nelson Mandela Day in South Africa. Of course, he spent a sizable amount of his adult life in prison because of his political views. And then, of course, when South Africa became a democracy, sort of, he became the very first president of South Africa as a democracy. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. Nelson Mandela, born in the state in 1918. The only person to fly in both the Mercury and Space Shuttle programs, the first man to orbit the Earth. For 24 years, he served with great distinction as a senator from Ohio, and he was the last surviving member of the Mercury 7. The legendary John Glenn was born 104 years ago today. And the terribly underappreciated Dion DiMucci, between the time before Elvis, in the early 1960s, Elvis was in the Army, Chuck Berry was in jail, Jerry Lee Lewis had been banned, Little Richard had found God, Buddy Holly was dead, but Dion DiMucci was one of those, along with Roy Orbison and Rick Nelson and a few others as well, that kept the rock and roll spirit alive until the Beatles arrived. Dion is 86. Happy birthday to Dion. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. I mentioned that this week my air conditioner has been running pretty much non-stop for a few weeks. Now, granted, today's air conditioners usually can handle that, but still, with the cooler weather this weekend, I think I might just turn mine off. And if yours is not quite keeping things cool as you think it should be, and you think it might need a little tune-up, now would be a good time to turn yours off and call Alpine Air and get it fixed. We're going to take a break. Mike McKnight's got an opinion on the corner, and then Eric Granstrom sat down with the returning Athletic and Activities Director for the Wenatchee School District, my sister. Full disclosure, we need to mention these things. BJ Kuntz. That conversation right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Once again this year, the Pybus Public Market is hosting a kids-only artisan market on Saturday, August 9th. If you're younger than 18, show off your original artwork. Details at their website. Tickets are on sale now for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the musical. It's this year's Hot August Nights production from Jamie Donegan. Christina Capehart directs this comedy based on the 1988 film. Get your tickets at the box office or at the website of the pack.
Such a good time together, and it's only just begun. Got loud guitars, a little out of tune, but they ain't got a girl like you. And I know I'm all over the road, I can't help but go. Little bit of left, little bit of right. It's hard.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So Rosie, my sweet wife, and I are at La Fuente for dinner. She looks at the menu and says, "Do you want to share something? The veggie burrito looks good." I go, "Share? The veggie burrito?" And actually, veggie burrito is a contradiction in terms as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. So I say politely, "No thanks." And when she asks me what I'm going to order, I say chili verde. And she says, "You always get chili verde." And she says, "You always order the same thing. You wear the same clothes. You listen to the same music. Why don't you ever want to try anything new?" And I say, "Well, we've been married for 47 years. Silence. Then she says, "The veggie burrito looks good." This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion. Oh boy, the veggie burrito. Okay.
Settle in for summer savings on stressless furniture at Boswell's. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on stressless recliners, sofas, and accessories. Plus, save $50 on stressless Laurel and Mint dining chairs or home office chairs. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition.
Holy pepperoni, Abby Man. It's the hometown hero bursting onto the scene this July at a special price, starring classic pepperoni, green peppers, and Italian sausage. One bite and wham. Don't miss the summer's biggest blockbuster. The hometown hero has arrived at Abby's.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, There is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily Home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on two wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected 4-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Thanks for joining us on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this sun-splashed summer day. We're talking with B.J. Kuntz, athletic director, new athletic director. I didn't want to say old.
Thank you.
What's new
Appreciate
is
that.
or what old is. Anyway, BJ's here. She's back, and welcome. By the way,
thank you.
She had July 1st, right?
July 1st was my first day. It was interesting. I was still living on the other side of the mountains, and I worked for one school district on Monday, and then worked for a new one on Tuesday. It was great.
Talk about. Let's see. It's been 6 years since you left to go to the West Side, and for those that are from the Wenatchee Valley, I mean, you went away to go to school, and then you came back and coached and taught and all that kind of fun stuff before you became the AD here. I talked to a lot of people. I moved here in '89, and once I found this place, I was like, I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. But some people that grew up here have to go away to appreciate what they had, and then a lot of them come back. Is that a case for you, or is it just a case for an opportunity? What was it?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I worked here for a long time, as you know. Come back. I was so excited to return to Wenatchee in my first stint and teach and coach and just live the dream of the things that I had. Honestly, since 7th grade, I knew I wanted to be the athletic director, right? So I did all of those things, and I had hit that spot in my career where I just felt like there's a lot out there, and I wanted to go learn and grow and explore other things that were really important to me in athletic management and leadership. And I needed to go do that. And then I got to the point where the same thing that pulled me here as a professional pulled me right back, which is beautiful community. I have a lot of family here. And then if I'm going to work as hard as I'm going to work, I want to do it in the kids that are walking the same halls that I did all of those years ago. So the pull was to come back and take all of the things I've learned and invest those back into this community.
What was, if there's maybe a handful of things, biggest things you learned while you were away? First of all, working with the WIAA. Of course, you take that job and then bam, we hit COVID, and so that was a weird time. But what did you learn being there?
Working at the state association where you have this perspective across the entire state was awesome. I got to learn around governance of high school sports, all of the things that come into rules being made, coaches certification. I had the opportunity to do what I think are some of the very best initiatives that I could have done around coaches education, around inclusive ed, around, I did softball and I did bowling and I did soccer and I did sports I knew, I did sports I didn't know, but getting to do that statewide was really cool. And it just kind of grounded you in so much knowledge about how Officials Association works, and how the Coaches Association works, and how different communities work all across the state. And it also gave me the opportunity to work nationally. So we're a part of the National Federation of High Schools. So I got to sit on a rules committee for the softball rule book. I mean, talk about a cool experience, and we could do a whole session on that. But I got to be a part of women in sport leadership initiatives and coaches education initiatives and things across the nation, and speak in national conferences. I got to be a part of a lot of work around Title IX, like just amazing. And I felt so blessed, and I felt so just overwhelmed at how cool that was.
Speaking of Title IX, I mean, we're standing in a facility now that's a result of Title IX, and unfortunately had to come to a lawsuit here in the Wenatchee School District to make this happen, but it's here. So talk about that, and you made it very clear when you left here and basically in your entire career that you want to have and empower more women to be following your footsteps, really.
Right.
How is your perspective on that now? Because you look at the faces, even on the board of the WIAA, from when you went in to when you came out, There's a lot more female faces on there.
Yes, there is. You know, and to be honest with you, like, I don't think my foundation of who I am and what I believe back then is any different than who it is now. I think it's so important to have as many females coaching females as possible, to have those role models. I didn't have very many growing up. But the one that I did have in Tracy Reese, who's still around town, right, was so influential that I want every kid to have that opportunity. I've also had this opportunity to dive into women and wellness. So in my previous job, we started doing girls and sport events, learn about wellness, learn about healthy eating, learn about, you know, how to not beat yourself up so much, like just really diving into the whole student athlete around females. And those are the things that I'm really excited to bring here to Wenatchee, that I've had the opportunity to meet and engage with some really amazing organizations around our state that I think we have the opportunity to bring that here.
Well, we're going to talk about flag football coming
Yes.
up here in a little bit. I wanted to ask about that move from WIAA to Renton to be an AD again. Was that just made sense for you? I know the WIAA kind of changed how they had their structure and things like that.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I kind of hit that spot where I loved the work, but I was missing kids. I was missing the direct influence on coaches. I had learned so much from those 4 years that I wanted to impact school system again. And so the Renton job happened to open. We weren't in a position, or we weren't quite ready to move back yet. That position opened. So I was able to, I worked at the district office there. I had 3 high schools, 4 middle schools, and had the opportunity to bring in coaches education, to bring in women in sport initiatives, and just really get back into this work, which I loved. But I was also at the district office, which is part of this desire to get back into a school with, I can work directly with our coaches, our kids, change our community. So.
Which is exactly what's going to happen now that you're back at Wenatchee. We're going to talk more about that and BJ coming home, coming up next here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to it.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers. Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today. Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel, visiting with our good friend BJ Kuntz. You might recognize that last name. She might be related to the guy who's hosting the show. Of course, you guys are related to just about everybody in town, aren't you?
Sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes, and then sometimes we choose not to claim each other. So it just depends.
Well, and Dan might be one of those. Let's talk about coming home and the opportunity. When did you see it? I know that there was a year of flux for Wenatchee High School. And the Wenatchee School District, after Jim retired, and they tried to handle it and decided, okay, we need to open this up and try to find somebody. What was that even a thought for you? It was like, okay, we're going.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like my last square on my bingo card has been coming back to Wenatchee and making the impact where I started. Right? So I was hoping it would be in athletics just because that's where I think I am my best and I bring my best. And so, you know, it started a couple years ago and Grandbaby 1 came. And then just in the last year, Grandbaby 2 came. And so the pull became stronger. Obviously, I have a lot of siblings here. None of us are getting younger. And so that pull started happening. I didn't anticipate that door would open quite like it did, but it did. And I'm super excited that it did. I didn't even hesitate to apply. I knew that this is that last square on my bingo card, and I am so excited to be able to take all of the things and invest it back in this community. I just can't say it enough.
So what are your goals? What do you see that needs to be done here at Wenatchee High School? But you're not just the high school AD, you're the AD for the district, right?
Yeah. So goals for me, like I want to see every single kid in the Wenatchee Valley have access to something extracurricular. Like that would be in my 3 to 5 year plan of how do we get kids access, because what that does for the infrastructure of our valley, when our kids are healthy, they have good mentors and people working with them and they're enjoying something. I see that as a big picture. Like that's way beyond Wenatchee High School, but it is Wenatchee School District and how we positively impact the entire culture of our community, right? But more short term, my goals are investing in our coaches. There's one thing that I've learned in the last 6 years is how important the coach is. Not that I didn't already know it, but the value of coaches' education, of interrogating their own thoughts and beliefs and practices and how am I really doing the very best that I can. But to not only create super competitive environment, but have a space for those kids who don't want to compete, that want to participate, want to get all the positive vibes that come from being involved in extracurricular activities. So we really want to do both things, invest in our coaches, and then connect with our community, because I think this is a very unique community and a perfect size community to really we are all one community and we're all investing in our kids together. So partnering with the club programs, partnering with our booster clubs, I'm just really thinking outside the box of how do we just check all these boxes for these kids. And at the end of the day, all means all. We want every kid having access to something extracurricular, whether it's athletics, activities, CTE, whatever it is. I just can't overstate how important it is for the culture and the health of our community that our kids are doing that.
With that, I think you saw it from the state level and now you're going to see it on the local level. I think COVID had a big impact on extracurricular everything. I mean, the opportunities went away, first of all, and now coming back from that, we're not seeing the participation levels we once did across the board. How do you address that?
Yeah, and you're right, participation levels are down. I think communities' kind of commitment to financing those programs are going down. There's just not as many resources to make it happen. So we're just going to have to work on that brick by brick. So I think when you have coaches that kids really, really enjoy being around, more kids want to participate, that helps. We got to look at whatever barriers are stopping kids and see how we eliminate those, whatever that might be. If it's a financial barrier, if it's a family barrier, if it's a transportation barrier, how do we eliminate that? And then I think it's also okay to say, you know, if kids don't want to compete in athletics, how do we also offer things that they do enjoy doing?
Sure.
So we just got to look outside the box and just keep chipping away, like one little thing at a time. I think we'll slowly build that back up.
We just this past year had the board, the WIAA, vote in flag football for girls across the state. What's that going to look like here locally?
Oh man, I that's one of my favorite things. That in Renton we brought flag football into the schools and it was absolutely crazy. And we ended up with 80, 90, 100 kids that don't do any other sport that were doing flag football. I don't know for sure where the Big 9 sees flag football. I'm guessing they're going to see it as a spring sport if they bring it in. I just am not quite there yet to really know what the plan is for the Big 9. But I am all in to bringing it to our valley. But we need to make sure we have schools to compete against and a program there. So I got to figure that part out before we can jump in on that one.
There's a funding element to that as well, right? I mean, it's not just coaches, it's also finding the gear, finding the flags, and everything else that goes into that. And part of that is, you know, what we saw in Moses Lake last year. Holy cow. I mean, having to drive themselves,
Yep.
you know, to so many of the sporting events, and having coaches take $1
Yep.
to coach. That talks about that buy-in by
Yep.
the coaching staff as
Right.
well. As you get your feet wet back here at the Wenatchee School District, how are you seeing things financially as far as extracurricular is concerned?
Well, the fact that we passed that levy this last year tells me a lot that our community is behind what we're doing. They're behind our leadership. They're behind our school district, and they believe in having healthy youth. So I'm super excited. That sends a really strong message to me. So that part is very exciting. I think Wenatchee has always done a great job of supporting transportation and athletics and whatnot. So we just got to keep our community behind us. I think there's a lot of things that we can do to continue to do that. And, you know, Corey is a fantastic leader at the district office. So I'm super excited to work with him and work with the board and do those kind of things. So yeah, you can see school districts around the state that are pulling from athletics, or levies aren't passing. And so then athletics is getting cut. And we're very fortunate here to not be in that spot.
Fair or not, the community doesn't know really what's happening inside the schools. They don't. The only judge they really have is wins and losses.
Yep.
In a lot of cases in varsity sports. So as a result, that's why we broadcast games on NCWLIFE channel, and that's why we encourage both the high schools to do video projects within the schools to
Yep.
talk about what it's like to be inside the buildings and things like that. As we step forward, as we look into your crystal ball, and I don't know what your plan is as far as how long you're going to be here and do
Yep.
this, what do you hope to achieve?
I hope to grow the program. I hope to grow from a successful standpoint and a participation standpoint, sort of both of those. I would like to see Wenatchee Valley be a leader in coaches education, be a leader in supporting our girls, supporting our athletes, providing opportunities. We're in a great location in the middle of the state to be able to offer different opportunities for people to come here and learn and grow and get better. So I'd like it to be a culture of growth, a culture of expansion, a culture of excellence. When people think about Wenatchee athletics, I want them to say, hey, that is exactly what we all should strive to be. So that's what we're going to work towards from a coach's perspective, from a success perspective, from a community engagement perspective. And there's no doubt in my mind that this is the best place to do it.
I got two more things for you.
Okay.
I mean, we could, like you said, we could talk
Do this
for
all
hours
day.
on officials.
Yeah.
And officiating.
Mhm.
As you know, our good friend Jerry Anderson always says in his emails, without officials, it's recess.
Yes.
And there's still that big time shortage.
Mhm.
So how do we address that?
I have always believed, and haven't quite figured out how to do it, but I'm hopeful we can do it here, that we need to get some programs in the schools to get kids engaged, right? So I've already had conversations with our CTE director, Jake, talked a little bit about how we can add some athletic-oriented programming through CTE for both officials and even event management, because it's hard to find event workers as well, right? So how do we grow all of that? And that's another area I think we can be an example. There's a handful of school districts around the state that have started that. And it's made a huge difference to get student officials started, and I think partnering with Wenatchee Valley College, whatever we need to do. You've probably heard that multiple times.
Yes,
I feel like I have the skill set now to kind of start to work our way through making that happen.
Yeah, Sandy Cooper and I were very close to getting that at the college, and
Yep.
then we got the kibosh.
Yep.
So hopefully that can happen, because being a former official myself, and then
Mhm.
of course calling games, and
Yep.
if the officials don't show up, it kind of makes it hard to do.
Yep.
Last question for you, and this is, you know, the question that's probably begging for a lot of information still, is NIL.
Mhm.
It's reaching into the high school ranks
Yep.
across the country. Where does your crystal ball say we're going on that front?
It's hard to know. You know, WIA had that amendment this year that kind of opens up some of the transfer rules. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, it's always been in existence where kids can do, you know, try to do some finding the right spot for them. The NIL will be really interesting to see how that trickles down into our high schools. You know, I read articles and go into some of these national conferences, and you hear about kids in certain private schools in certain areas of the country getting some significant money and some NIL. It's going to trickle here. It'll get here. I don't know if we have very many kids involved in that right now, but it's going to happen over time. And so I think it's my job to be educated, to be aware, and to be able to start providing that education to our kids and our families so they know what to do.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back.
Excited to be here.
Yes, and looking forward to our fall sports season coming up. We've got
I think 19 different broadcasts we're planning here between Wenatchee and Eastmont and Cashmere. So it doesn't happen without the ADs.
Thank you,
BG.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
There you go. BJ Kuntz joining us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition.
Holy pepperoni, Abby Man. It's the hometown hero bursting onto the scene this July at a special price, starring classic pepperoni, green peppers, and Italian sausage. One bite and wham. Don't miss the summer's biggest blockbuster. The hometown hero has arrived at Abby's.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Once again this year, the Pybus Public Market is hosting a kids-only artisan market on Saturday, August 9th. If you're younger than 18, show off your original artwork. Details at their website. Tickets are on sale now for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the musical. It's this year's Hot August Nights production from Jamie Donegan. Christina Capehart directs this comedy based on the 1988 film. Get your tickets at the box office or at the website of the pack.
We are in the warm spot in our viewing area, 73 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. So we're off to a warm start. It's going to be another warm day today, but two significant things are going to happen as this day progresses. First of all, the clouds will begin to roll in. You'll start seeing some clouds coming in from the west mid-morning or so. By mid-afternoon, it'll be fairly cloudy. By sunset tonight, about 9 o'clock, it's going to be cloudy, but that's nothing compared to the winds. The most significant impact of this incoming weather system is the wind. It's going to be very windy. It's going to be breezy this morning, windy this afternoon, very windy tonight, and again on Saturday for that matter. This is a pretty strong cold front that's going to come in. Going to make things considerably cooler for our temperatures on Saturday and Sunday, but because it's still going to be hot today, we have a red flag warning. And as you look at the red flag warning slide, it's pretty much almost all of eastern Washington, basically from the valley eastward and down south all through the Columbia Basin, because the combination is there. Strong winds, hot temperatures, and low relative humidity. There is some good news. The relative humidity in the Wenatchee Valley is going to be a little higher than it has been. It'll be more like 25 to 30%. It's been in the teens for the most part. So there is that. But outside of that, get ready for some big time winds and some pretty cloudy conditions tonight, spilling into the overnight hours, and then lots of sunshine over the weekend. But we have to get through today. Hopefully we will. All right, from the National Weather Service. Sunshine this morning. Clouds will begin to roll in as the day progresses. By the end of the day today, it will be cloudy, and it will be windy, and it will be warm, with a high of 93. Winds this morning at about 10 miles an hour. This afternoon, about 20 miles an hour. Gusts at 35 miles an hour for us. Waterville Gusts at 40 miles an hour or above. The strongest winds will be between about 4 o'clock this afternoon until about 1 o'clock in the morning. It will be cloudy in the overnight hours, and then the clouds will depart as the cold front barrels through. We'll dip down to about 64, which means lots of sunshine on Saturday, but it's going to be borderline breezy to windy on Saturday and Saturday night. And look at the temperatures dropping down to below normal there. So it is going to be comfortable temperature-wise, but a little windy. Sunday looks to be gorgeous, though. That's it for us. We'll see you at the ballpark tonight. Until Monday, bye-bye.